Unfriended. The horror. Can you imagine being unfriended? What, like on Facebook? I remember back in the days on MSN Messenger, if someone blocked you there, what, are they crazy? And then you had all these little software apps that would show you who blocked you, but all it really did was infect your computer with viruses. That was great. Also, completely unrelated. Unfriended is also the name of a recent horror movie produced by Blumhouse Productions. Blumhouse? So, well, let us set the tone for you. Originally titled Cybernatural, what does that even mean? But still better than the working title Offline, I guess. Although, what is worse, being offline or being unfriended? Think about that for a second. Anyway, released earlier this year, Unfriended is really a movie for the social media generation. Let's see why. First of all, the whole movie, some 90 minutes long, you're looking at the laptop screen of some girl in real time. She's just casually using it, playing some music, downloading some Miley Cyrus videos, watching the suicide video of her former BFF, you know, casual stuff. Then, after her sexy cam time with Bae is interrupted by some of their friends, they all just hang out on Skype. Because that's what teenagers do, apparently. But hey, who is this user? That's weird. Where did he or she come from? Okay. I actually remember seeing the trailer to this movie when it came out, you know, when the trailer was released. And it really made me think like, okay, so this movie is gonna be either pretty interesting or just completely fucking stupid. As it turns out, it's not even that stupid. Let's continue. So, besides the weird user on Skype that doesn't go away, the main girl starts getting all these strange messages on Facebook from the account of her friend who committed suicide. That is pretty creepy. Initially they all think it's just someone like pulling a prank, like messing with them, but soon the whole group is caught up in an online game of life and death where some of their deepest and darkest secrets will be revealed. Huh? That sounds intense. And I know what you're thinking. If you're online and it starts to get messy, you know, like threatening, just log off, walk away, close your eyes. And well, that's also where my biggest disappointment in this movie comes into play. So here comes the part where I'll be including some spoilers. So before you unfriend me, I'm just giving you guys a little heads up and a time mark for you to skip to in order to avoid these spoilers. So, the thing that I didn't really like about this movie is the fact that it's a supernatural horror movie. Yeah, you see, that weird user on Skype, it's actually the ghost of the girl that committed suicide. It's such a lame plot device, because here it's really an excuse for literally everything that happens in the movie. Mostly as in, you know, if any of the characters get away from their computer, they'll die. Because supernatural, it's so lame. And it actually kind of takes away from the creepiness, because you already know that there's no way for these characters to get away with it. So, we're just witnessing how these kids have to do whatever the ghost says, and it all comes down to them confessing mean things that they did to each other. Really, this turns out to be the shittiest group of friends ever. In the end, most of it has to do with the fact that the girl who committed suicide did so because of cyberbullying after an embarrassing video of her was uploaded to the internet. I guess that's the moral of the story. Don't cyberbully. Well, don't bully in general, I'd say. But yeah, this movie was indeed inspired by cyberbullying related suicide cases. You know, like the Amanda Todd story. Remember that one? That one is actually quite obviously referenced in the movie. That's okay, I guess. So guys, don't cyberbully or you might die because supernatural. Ooh. The movie, it's okay. I mostly like the first half, where it's all still a bit mysterious and even a tiny bit creepy. But then when all the craziness starts, it's a little too much, I don't know. Also, as a horror movie, it's not really all that scary. What I do like, you know, when it comes to computers being used in movies and series, this one here, it's all pretty legit. You know, all the software is real, no fake clicksters bullshit like we see in cyberbully. And the computer and online behavior is pretty realistic, as well as the video glitches and lagging. Although it makes no sense that her own video glitches as well, since that doesn't happen. In the end, sure, it's a gimmick. It's also quite exhausting having to watch a movie like this. You know, with the computer screen and then all the windows and constantly having to read all the messages. I also think it's not very rewatchable, like, at all. But I have to say, it's an interesting experiment and definitely an innovative way of using the found footage style of filmmaking. And I know this isn't found footage, but you know what I mean, like the first person perspective. So for that, it's kind of worth checking out. But really, as just a horror movie, it's not all that effective. The acting in this type of movies is very important, I'd say. And these type of performances, apparently it's shot in like one or a couple continuous single shots. It asks for a lot, and you know, sometimes it's just not all that convincing in this movie. So yeah. It's okay, the movie. If you're curious like I was, you'll probably check it out eventually. But if not, well, don't feel bad if you're missing out on this one, because you're not really missing out. Have a nice day.